What's up guys, my name is Boris, and in this video I sit down with the owner of Milo Academy, Christian Dela Cruz, aka Milo. He talks about how he started his business around his passions of playing basketball and how it nets him anywhere between $8,000 to $20,000 a month. Stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss this video. Thanks again.
My name is Christian Dela Cruz. Everybody calls me Milo. I'm the founder, owner of Milo Academy. Milo Academy is a basketball skill development school here in the Bay Area. I started in 2016, of the summer, still going. And yeah, I've been living here in the US since 2008. I moved from the Philippines, and ever since I love basketball, and I'm just happy to continue being still in the game. That is actually a great question, because everyone always asks me that question, like, where did Milo come from? It's funny, so when I was in the Philippines, they had Milo camps, so the Milo drink. You know how that Milo drink is so famous in Asia, like Australia, Philippines, China, right? It's like almost like a Gatorade out there, right? So they do basketball camps. I mean, they do all around sports camps, but basketball, obviously I play basketball, so I would join the basketball camps, right? My last year in the Philippines, 2008, it was around April. That was the summertime out there. That was my last summer. So I had joined the camp and I did so well. You know, I won MVP, best player of the camp. And then I started getting all the trophies, all the gears, Milo camp, whatever. And then a couple months later, I moved out here. And you know, living in Daly City, a lot of Filipinos in here, man. So, and back then it was famous. Like if you're a part of the camp, you know, like you're somewhat pretty good, you know. It's crazy, but not really, because you just pay for it. But then, you know, like it was hard to get in, apparently, something like that. Or you get better. And then, yeah, I go to a park. One day, my stepdad drops me off. I'm wearing a shirt. These Filipino guys come up to me. Oh, you come from Philippines? You did the Milo camp? I was like, yeah. Oh, nice, it's sick, you know, all that stuff. And then later on, you know, I see the same guys at a different park. Oh, that's the Milo kid. That's the Milo kid. And then the non-Filipino guys would just be like, oh, Milo, you want to run with us? So they thought my name was Milo. Oh, let Milo run, let Milo run. So since then, everybody was just like, oh, that's Milo, you know, like, what's up, Milo? I was like, I guess you got a new nickname now. Yeah, my family didn't even know that. It's crazy. Outside the house, everybody knew me as Milo after that, you know, with basketball and everything. When I was in high school, I had a couple jobs, you know, like first was like, I work in a school cafeteria. So it kind of helped me like organize stuff, being just organized, being on top of my stuff, right? Because I was working cashier, you know, serving food, you know. And then I had a part-time job for Daly City Park and Rec. So Daly City Park and Rec, you know, like we're in the basketball gym every day. So I'm in there after school, like running open gym for the kids. And also I was there as a kid also, so I kind of grew up in that gym. So, you know, like I said, just being in the game still, you know, like even after high school. And then I played college basketball. So that kind of made my skills even better, understand the game better. And then, yeah, and then later on, just Milo Academy. Just put it all together, you know, like working at Park and Rec, like, you know, like the relationship you build with the kids, you know, how to talk to them, all that stuff, like how to discipline them, talk to parents as well, obviously, yeah. Actually, it didn't take that long, you know, because when I started, and a lot of trainers, there was not a lot of trainers at that point, at that time. Back then, it was just if you want to have a trainer, you gotta have money, you gotta pay a lot, or you gotta be really good at basketball for a trainer to come up to you and train. For me, I just opened up to everybody, right? So it didn't take that long. I charged very cheap at that time, and then everybody just came in. And biggest upfront, I'd just say gym fee, but then. Back then, I would sneak in the gym because I had the keys to that Park and Rec gym. So, you know, like, I was young, didn't know much stuff about business like that yet, how to run stuff. So I was sneaking in the gym late night, early morning, before my shifts. And then, but when, you know, I knew when it started getting bigger, then I had to pay the gym fee and stuff, so yeah. Yeah, social media, you know, you don't want to get caught. I almost got fired a couple times. Everything was just word by mouth. When we started the business, my boy and I were just saying, we want this to be organic, word by mouth, because we want our work to speak for itself, basically, right? So social media is part of it too. But then back then, social media back then, we'd only post flyers, but not the drills, because we're kind of insecure still. Yeah, steal my stuff, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, everything was just word by mouth. And then one of my coworkers at the Park and Rec gym, he was a PE teacher. So he just helped me out, like, hey, let me take my kids to you. They need work. You know, I was like, oh yeah, cool, bring him over. Some parents knew me, or some kids, because when I was in high school, I was a local kid, played high school ball here, middle school ball. So kids kind of knew me, they seen me play. I did pretty good in high school. And yeah, so the parents seen the skills is there, so they had a feeling that I understand the game pretty well. Parents is number one, man, yeah. We go from like about 5 to 6 years old, all the way to like adults. So I'm talking about even college professional and regular adults. We do single session, which is $35 for big groups, and then we run that twice a week. And then we have small groups. It ranges from $45 to $50, depends how many kids we have. And then we do a one-on-one, which is $110. So for 1 hour, one-on-one, get a one-on-one workout with me. And then we do packages, we don't do memberships. We do packages, we do 10-pack. So our 10-pack is a group class for a big group at $300. So you're saving like $50 and you have 6 months to use that. And then our one-on-one, now we charge $1,000 for 10. Oh man, we have so many. Like our group pack, the 10-pack are for group class. You probably have like 250 kids, yeah. It's funny how I always say, oh, it's slow, and then I don't know, it picks up. So sometimes I can't really tell, But Thursday, so we run Thursday and Friday for that class. Friday's obviously busier. I think it's because normally schools or teams don't practice on Fridays, and then they have a tournament on the weekend. So they want to come in here, prepare for the tournament. A lot of kids go weekly. So I see kids go weekly, about probably like 30, 40 of them. I had a couple mentors, I love having mentors. I listen to old fellas, man. Like one of my best friends, he's a business owner, double my age. He owns a import-export company. I train his kids actually. And one day when I started the academy like 8 years ago, he brought he'd bring his kid in right after school. And then he'll just sit down there, be on his phone or watch training, right? And then one day I asked him, I'm like, I was curious because normally it's hard to take a kid right after school to training, right? Sometimes parents got work, or they got to do some errands, whatever, right? But he's right there sitting down, right? Like you chilling, right? So I came up to him like, yo, what do you do, man? You're able to do this, take your kids damn near every day, He's like, oh, I run this business, right? And then I got inspired all of a sudden, because as a business owner, I want to be like that someday, right? And then I text him every day, man, like some points, these questions, like how you do it. And then a couple of things stuck out to me, like, you gotta have self-respect, self-discipline, all that stuff, like you have those two, you be good. And then I listened to my high school teachers, the most hated high school teachers, but they give you the most like important stuff, man. I didn't realize that till now, when I started business, All levels, yeah, you gotta be all levels. Because sometimes the most beginners ones gives you the most challenging, and that's what makes you better, right? Anything that challenges you to be better. Best feeling ever. Like the progression and everything. But right now it depends on the season, right? Summertime or when there's break for schools or off season, obviously we're busy, right? All day training, right? So normally I don't work till past 6 or 7. So after 6, 7, then we'll train, if it's an NBA, college, then we'll go for that, right? But when sometimes the kids, we'll go during the day. But I wake up pretty early, I'm still getting older, get a little jet lag, but when I'm in like good shape, whatever, 5:30, 6 a.m., try to go to the gym, get my mind right, start your day nicely, because when you go to the gym, you feel productive, you know what I'm saying? Go home, eat, or sometimes I might have an early session, I'll do that, go home, eat, and then do some video editing, sometimes I do my own day in the life or food vlogs, I do my editing stuff, and then some days we'll come in here, do video content, my videographer, we do it once or twice a week. So we gather up about like 8 to 10 videos or drills, whatever. Yeah, batch shoot, yep, batch shoot. And then sometimes I take a lunch break and then come back here and then train again. Actually, that's what's something good about my parents, well, first of all, my parents were just like, do whatever you want, as long as you're doing it the right way, no illegal stuff, and you're able to make money, you're paying your bills, then you're good, right? Parents don't really like that, they let me do, that's what's something good about my parents, since high school, like, they had that trust in us, because I was always a good kid, I hate missing school, I hate getting attention. I always found my way, pass a class, test, whatever, college. But after I played 2 years of junior college, I transferred to SF State, and then I was already kind of into Milo Academy, because that summer I was just training, right? And I enrolled to school. By the fall, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna quit basketball, playing basketball, college basketball. I was done. So I was just in school running Milo Academy. So I'm in school during the day, and then afternoon, I would run Milo Academy, right? I'd have trainings, or I'd work for a team, whatever. I had a set schedule. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Let me get back to basketball. So I talked to the SF State coach, get me on the team. All right, okay, you're good. I'm on the team. And then the day I was signing my paperwork, I was like, oh no, after a couple days, right? Or a couple weeks, doing the school and the Milo Academy, I was like, I have no time for basketball. I feel like, in basketball, I reached my peak, for college. I was like, I'm not gonna make it to the pros. I'm probably gonna be a bench warmer, I wanna be on the, I'm too small, right? Realistically, I'm skilled, but playing D2 basketball was already next level. Instead of stressing myself out, let me focus on school and running Milo Academy. So I was like, all right, let's do that. And then I got to the point I couldn't even focus in school because I was that type of guy that I couldn't multitask. I'm that guy, like, I'd rather focus on something 100%, all in, versus 50-50 here. Some people are really good at that, and I wasn't like that. Like what I said, like high school, like, I found my ways, what I'm saying? I was not good at studying, all that, but I found my ways. It's kind of like more street smart, right? So yeah, and then I was like, all right, let me drop out of school. So my parents, I don't even think they knew, what I'm saying? Like, I might have told them, but then I told them, like, because at that point, I was making pretty good money through Milo Academy. I was like a 20-year-old guy, and I always set goals for myself. And my goal was, I remember, I wanted to make $100 a day doing Milo Academy training. That was the goal. On top of that, my part-time was park and rec, right? Opening, closing the gym, whatever. At that same facility where I was in Milo Academy. Worked out. So why do I need to go to school, right? Kind of like that. And I do the math, and I was like, okay, if I do that part-time job, my paycheck was part-time, probably like 30 hours a week. 2 weeks, 30 hours like 2 weeks. I'd make like $1,000 a month off of that. And then you do the Milo Academy, $100 a day, $3,000. So now I'm making $4,000 at 20-year-old. Where do you see that? You know what I'm saying? Being your own boss. So I was like, oh shit, this is real. So that's what I hit. And at that time, you were playing college, you broke. When I was in college, I was broke. Couldn't pay insurance. I was borrowing money because my parents, they would never pay for my bills. They provide enough for my house, food, whatever, right? I would borrow money from my sister, pay for my insurance, my car insurance, all that stuff, right? My bills. And then you make $4,000 a month. In 2 months, you paid off everything. And now you're able to save money, right? And then I was like, oh, this is real. So I was doing that for at least about 2 years, and then you started to charge more. The $100 became $150 or $200 a day. Because obviously you start to raise your price. Because that time I was only charging $10 a kid. And you have 5 kids, 6 kids, 2 sessions, that's 100 and 120, right? Yeah, it's working. And I wasn't paying gym at that time too. I was gym rental. Yeah, all pocket money. We used to make more in COVID era, like that 2020 to 2022. It was a lot, man, like a lot. Yeah, man. I would just say monthly. Net was like 18, 19. That was back then though. So that was back then. And then now got down to like probably like 8 to 10, 9 to, which I knew was gonna be like that. So something, when COVID happened, I saved a lot of money, and people always ask me, why you work so much? And I was like, because I know there's gonna be a point it's gonna slow down. I wanna be able to save money. So when that happened, I milked that two years after COVID, make the money, because I knew it's gonna go down. It's gonna last forever, because there's gonna be more teams. AU's gonna start up. Not everyone's gonna want training. AU teams gonna start offering trainings in their practice packages. So you're gonna have less kids, more competition. A lot of trainers are gonna see what you're doing. You see, you make money off training. If you can do it, I can do it too. So I knew it was gonna go down, and then, and you just gotta prepare for it. But lately I've been undisciplined with my money. Because I got to the point in my life, like, you're working too much, you're close to your 30s. And like I said, client comes in and go, right? So with all my traveling, working out of country, I kind of spend more, like just living, man, like rewarding myself. Right when I started. Yeah, very low overhead, right when I started. Pay gym here probably like $4,000 a month, so we net 10, probably like 18 a month. No ads. We have email lists, but we only do email lists when you have announced. We have a camp and there's no class. We don't do email ads. Everything is social media, word by mouth referrals. I think it's just being in the business for so long. I got so much better at training, understanding the littlest, smallest details ever from when I started, like details, seeing the game different, understanding the game different. Yeah, I see a lot of trainers, I was like them when I started, and I look at it, and like now I'm way better. For me, understanding the difference of the individual skill versus in-game skills. So yeah, they don't understand, like, for us, we make sure they understand that, right? We're doing all this drill, like cone drills, blah, 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 right? You're not gonna do this in the game, but you're working on your handles, you're working on your hand coordination, your footwork, whatever, right? Because at some point in the game, you're gonna be able to do one of these moves. You just wanna react to it, right? That type of stuff. And like in-game skill, right? Like footwork into your shot, pick and roll, where does the pass go, your angles, all that stuff. Yeah, the IQ basically, yeah. It's actually kind of easy, I thought that was a hard one, and I thought about it as easy. It's what you give to the game, it gives back, right? Like we're talking about honing your craft, right? In sports, when you're playing, like you want to be the best version of yourself, right? Like getting better, working out, working hard, all that stuff, and then you'll see the results on the court, right? And same as business, right? The more you put your time in, the genuine relationship you put in with the clients, to the community, whatever, it gives back to you, obviously in a positive way. Train more pro athletes, maybe have my own facility, more coaches, more coaches. I want to do more coaches clinics instead of players clinics. Obviously, because we've been getting a lot of DMs like, how do you teach, blah, 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 like, like your way of teaching. So yeah, people want to know that, yeah. It's like doing a camp for players, but doing a camp for coaches, yeah, never done it before. But we had coaches come in, like be interns and stuff, never grew. Steph Curry, just a generation player, man. Like the way he sees the game, the way he's able to shoot, his skill. Yeah, I definitely want to train him. Not really. It's not even the fact that I don't even know if he'd learn something from me. Just like I want to give him some drills. Like I want to, like, all right, let's do 5 makes, like that type of stuff. Be in the presence, yeah. And Kyrie Irving, think Kaminga. Yeah. So where would John drink? Huh? We go to different gyms. Yeah. So his brothers come here though. Yeah, his brother's cousin. We train him over here. Yeah, I usually talk to his assistants and stuff, so yeah. You ever get starstruck? Yeah, my first time. Oh my God, it was crazy. We're like, oh. I remember like the first time, after the training, we got in the car. No, like after, like separate with my staff. At that time, we were all still together, right? The staff we started with. One guy was in my car, my main guy. Other guy was on the phone. Other guy was on the phone also. Our videographer was on the phone. For like 2 minutes driving, we had a crazy moment of silence, full silence. And then after that, we were like, oh my God. Made the phone call, we're on the call. We just trained an NBA caliber player, like not just a regular NBA player, a 7th overall pick, you know what I'm saying? Like future superstar. Like this is crazy. Yes, like we made it. Oh. Well, the thing is, so I started training his brother, older brother, play pro, D1. That one we actually slid in his DM. Like, hey bro, we saw you in the Bay. If you ever need a workout, let us know. Got you. Oh yeah, bet, I got you. Hey, are you free? Yeah, workout, boom, right? We didn't charge them because obviously it was like marketing, right? Trained them, loved it. And they're like, hey, our little brothers are gonna go to school in San Francisco. Can you train them? Like, yeah. So we trained the little brothers, went on for a couple months. I get a call from one of their cousins. Hey, can you come to Walnut Creek tonight? JK wants to work out with you. JK is Jonathan Kaminga. Oh yeah, done. Yeah, it's good, yeah. And then I'm not his main trainer. He has obviously main trainer. So I think when his trainer's not here, then they call me, right? So it happened a couple times, and then same thing. We were at Chase Center. Hey, Milo, can you train me and JK at Chase Center? You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, duh. Not really. You know, I don't know. I feel like I said, I had like a little insecurity back then. Now I watch their videos. I mean, a couple years ago, I watched their videos. I learned some stuff because, like I said, I reached my peak of my experience. So now, and I still watch this. Just kids, man, like doing well off the court. You know, not everyone's gonna make the NBA. You know, for me, it's just like, damn, or just the players. You know, I feel like when you're on the court, you're doing something right? You know, you're not on the street doing, you know, like crazy stuff. You're not being at home being lazy. You know, like for me, just you being productive in your life. You know, because anything that you do, you know, like you learn from it, right? And I feel like every time they come in, like I said, they're getting better. Like, and I have this saying, like, you have to be 1% better every day. And every time they come here, I feel like they're 1% better. Official Milo Academy on Instagram, officialmiloacademy.com website. That's it.